Powered by Riverside FM.
Welcome to another edition of Unconventional Playbook. I'm your host, Lionel Jones. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Big news coming out of Minnesota Vikings camp, and I wanted to touch on it. Got a couple of phone calls today from different people that I know wanted me to touch on the whole JJ McCarthy thing and the supposedly second surgery, second procedure, whatever you want to call it. And people just wanted me to come on and touch on it today. And I thought to myself, I will briefly touch on it. The first thing I will say is people are talking about should the Minnesota Vikings and should Minnesota Viking fans have concern about JJ McCarthy? And so my answer to that would be yes, but not for the reasons that you might think. Like for me, you should have concerns because the young man hurt his knee in the first place. Having meniscus surgery is not to the level of career ending, but it definitely is a concern. And because he had the initial injury in the first place, Minnesota Viking fans and Minnesota Vikings brass should be concerned. But the second surgery doesn't concern me any more than the injury itself. What people have to realize, I've been around sports all my life, and I've had an opportunity to work at professional level organizations. And right now I'm coaching college basketball, so I'm around injuries all the time. And the one thing that you don't want to do when you have an injury is to continue to allow swelling to be around any joint. And so because JJ McCarthy is who he is, and because he is the future franchise quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings, he is going to get the best treatment that money can buy. And so this was a situation where he had some swelling around his knee. They went in there with an injection. He received a platelet-rich plasma injection, which is meant to reduce swelling. There is various ways that you can get swelling down. Sometimes it's with a steroid. Steroid comes with a lot of side effects. They chose to go the route of a platelet-rich plasma injection, which is absolutely fantastic. That's going to get the swelling down. The main concern is when you continue to have a lot of swelling around the joint, you're going to have things that can happen. Arthritis can set in, or there can be joint damage. So they're not going to allow that to happen to JJ McCarthy. This second procedure is no big deal. Whenever you have an injury, there is always a risk that you may not respond for treatment. No matter what type of injury you have, whether it's a sprained ankle, whether it's a torn ACL, MCL, meniscus tear, there is a chance that you may never just get back right. But the initial battle is to get the swelling, get the inflammation down. This is not a situation that is similar to what Sam Bradford had a lot of knee issues. And for my guess, I don't know specifically about his condition or his treatment, but at somewhere along the line, they allowed a lot of swelling to continue to permeate throughout that knee, which shortened his career in terms of him having a lot of injuries to those knees. And I think they're trying to prevent that with JJ McCarthy. He is a young man. He is going to bounce back incredibly. Is there a chance? I can't sit here and say that there is no chance that JJ McCarthy won't have long-term effects from this knee injury, but the chances are slim. So Minnesota Viking fans, relax. And I know a part of this is just about the Minnesota Vikings are always snake bit. I heard a podcast today that said the Minnesota Vikings can never have great things. And I can understand the paranoia. I guess the word would be I can understand the concern. I can understand the fear. But my guess is the odds tell me, and being around these type of injuries all the time, that JJ McCarthy is going to be just fine. We've got Sam Darnold. And I know he hasn't been playing well for the last couple of weeks. He's been hit or miss, done some good things, but hasn't always done the right things, has thrown a lot of interceptions. So there are concerns. And I guess the Minnesota Vikings are going to have to evaluate as the season goes on, again, analyzing JJ McCarthy's injury, what to do about next year. I don't see Sam Darnold coming back next year. If I said, in many podcasts, he's not going to sign a multi-year deal. Even if JJ McCarthy's timeline gets adjusted a little bit, Sam Darnold is not going to sign a long-term deal here. He is not going to be franchised. If you guys don't understand how franchise tags work, it is the average salary of, I believe, the top 5 NFL quarterbacks, which would put him in the $50 million area. And the Minnesota Vikings definitely are not doing that. He has not shown that he is to the level of a quarterback to be paid that amount of money. So I think the agenda for the Minnesota Vikings is just to allow Sam Darnold to finish out this year and help him find another multi-year deal elsewhere, preferably with the Cleveland Browns, the Los Angeles Rams, the Las Vegas Raiders. I think he's going to probably find out that he's going to be with one of those teams. I don't see him going back to New York, even if it's with the Giants and Daniel Jones doesn't work out. I don't think he's itching to go back to that market. But I think he's going to find a great organization to sign a multi-year deal with and give him an opportunity to be a long-term starting quarterback in this league. And I think him crossing paths with KOC is going to help him do that. So, Minnesota Viking fans, don't worry about JJ McCarthy. He is going to be just fine. He is going to be the Minnesota Vikings starting quarterback for the 2025 season. I can't wait to see him under center. I'm rolling with Sam Darnold right now until the end of the year. Minnesota Vikings have a big game coming up on Sunday, but JJ McCarthy is going to be just fine. You can book that. He is going to be just fine. Please hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to be rolling out content. We got a Minnesota Vikings preview show coming up. We're also going to talk a little bit of Timberwolves. People have been at me to talk a little bit of Minnesota Timberwolves, how their season has started. They've lost 3 in a row. So we're going to talk a little bit of Timberwolves this week, and just to get your thoughts on how the new look Timberwolves are looking to UP Nation. Again, hit that like and subscribe button. JJ McCarthy undergoing a platelet-rich plasma injection, which is basically to get inflammation out and to contain the swelling and get that inflammation down, which is something that they need to do. It's been Unconventional Playbook. We will make sure to see ya when we see ya. Latre, take us home, man.
I don't know who I am. Can I say I'm a man? Am I losing my mind? Am I wasting my time? Do I know who I am?